Today we have with us Christian Boyce, and he's going to be talking about screenshots. Screenshots are very powerful. You can do a lot with them, and my world, and I'm sure with Sheeta's world too, when you're troubleshooting, screenshots are very beneficial for us. So this is going to be a very informative class, and of course with Christian it's going to be good. So Christian, I am going to stop sharing my screen and turn it over to you.
All right, good. Speaking of handouts, I forgot to send you a handout for today, so I just sent it to Sheeta as a PDF. So okay. I don't know if you typically have those for all these Wednesday classes, but if you want it, you got it. Okay. So today we're going to talk about screenshots, and I think we advertised we're going to do it for the Mac and for the iPhone, but we're also going to do it for the Apple Watch because I learned how to do this cool thing last week thanks to Sheeta. So anyway, let's just get started here. Let's see what we've got. It's not a surprise to me. I've seen this before. I did it. So all right, so screenshots A to Z is what I'm calling it today. It's basically everything you need to know about screenshots. So I'm going to turn on something that'll let you see the keyboard shortcuts I'm doing to make these screenshots, because it turns out that even though there are some ways to do a screenshot without a keyboard shortcut, the keyboard shortcut is really the best way to do it. And so I'm going to teach you these couple of keyboard shortcuts today for the Mac, and that's all you'll need to know about how to take them. So let's just see what happens here. What do we have? Okay, so let's start with the Mac. So there's going to be three parts here: the Mac part, the iPhone part, and the watch part. So let's talk about screenshots on the Mac. The Mac was invented first. Seems like the right way to go. So, all right, there's very basic. The very, very basic screenshot is to take a picture of the screen, get everything with a Command-Shift-3. Okay, so I'm showing the keyboard shortcut there in the slide, Command-Shift-3. And if you hold down the Command and the Shift, like I'm about to do now, you should be able to see my key in just a minute. I'm just going to show you my screen. Here's my screen. If I hold down Command and Shift, nothing happens while you're holding those down. Just like holding down the Shift key by itself doesn't do anything. It's always when you add the next key. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-3 now. So here goes Command, Shift, and 3. And when you do this, you should hear a click, like a camera shutter from the olden days when the cameras actually had a little mirror thing that went flop. But what happens is you get something on the desktop like this. Now, I got three somethings on the desktop like this because I have three screens. So lucky me, I got three screens. So each one of them, so you get one for each screen. If you only have one screen, you only get one, and that's great. And it's a little hard to see here, but for example, let's look at this one. This is the one that sort of, you can see the thumbnail looks like the real screen here. Why don't we make those thumbnails bigger if I can? Let's see if we can. All right, let's go. There's a nice big icon. Okay, so these things get named, and if I do this right, let's see if I can get lucky here. And I want to zoom in on that. Let's see if I can do my zoom. I did do this once in practice. Let's see. Okay, so my zooming, yeah. Let's see here. Stand by. We're gonna see if we can zoom in a little bit. Well, I guess I can't. Well, it's too bad. Oh, yes, I could. Wait a minute. I think I did zoom in. Let's just. I got to pan around a little bit in here. Let's see.
I think what?
There we go.
Okay, great. We see it. We see it.
Okay, there we go. So you can see the name of these things. The one I want is this one over here. Okay, so whenever you do a screenshot, you're going to get you're going to file. You're going to make a file, and it's without anything ever being modified. We can modify things, but if you don't mess around, it's always going to be called screenshot, and then the date stamp. So today, 2023-03-01, and then the time. And this has changed a little bit over the years, different systems, but basically this is it. And they take a ping, all right, not a JPEG and not a PDF, but a ping. Okay. Now I got 3 of them because I have 3 screens, and each one is its own little ping. And so this was the screen on the right, this is the screen on the left, and this was the screen in the middle. All right, so it makes it a little bit more complicated that I've got 3 screens, but it helps me to do the talk. Okay, so that's it. So what do you do with these things? Well, you could just double click it, and when it opens up, you can do stuff with it. And see, this is a picture. I can move it around. I can do whatever I want to do. I can mark on it. I think we've had a preview class where you can click on markup like this, and you can draw, arrows pointing at things. You can say, well, look at this. All right, so we know how to do these things, but basically you're creating a file, and it lives there on your desktop until you do something else with it. Okay, so that's the basics. Command-Shift-3. All right, so that was the easy one. I'm gonna put these in the trash because I'm gonna take some more in a minute.
Christian, can I pause you for a second?
Of course.
The file that you sent to me has not been received. Can you send it again?
Oh, well, I wonder if I actually sent it. Let's just see. Stand by here. Oh, it says delivered, but I'll
You
I sent it as a text
didn't
message.
tell me how you I thought you'd send it via email. Okay, I'll get it out. Thank you.
Okay, groovy. Okay, so we learned the very, very basics. If there's one thing you take away today, it's Command-Shift-3 for the Mac. But there are other things to do, and let's look at something else a little bit more advanced, which is, first, where does it go? We saw about this. It ends up a ping on your desktop with a timestamp. Now let's talk about Command-Shift-4. So supposing you see I've got these 2 windows on the screen. One is about this Mac. That's here. And maybe I want to take a picture of that and send it to somebody so I can tell them which Mac I have and how much memory I have and that kind of thing. Now I could write it down, but it's easier to take a picture. So how do I do that? Well, it turns out the Mac has a way of, instead of taking the whole screen, you hold down, instead of Command-Shift-3, you do Command-Shift-4. When you do Command-Shift-4, watch carefully here. You see the cursor will change. So I'm going to put the cursor up here in the white part so you can see it better. I do Command-Shift-4, and the cursor changes into this sort of crosshair cursor. And I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you something that's good, but it's not as good as what we're going to show you in a minute. So here's what's good is you try to drag a box, you click and you drag and you highlight the box like this. You highlight what you're trying to do and you get a picture. And there it is on the desktop again. And if we do our zoom in thing again, like we did before, if I can, well, I can't, but I'm going to we just look at this. We can see the title if I open it up. Here's the title, and it says screenshot 2023 0301 8:40 and 43 seconds AM. Okay, well that's good, but if you really look at this thing, it's not perfect. Okay, it's okay. I got what I wanted, but I also got a bunch of the blue desktop behind it. So I'm going to leave that over here on the right as sort of exhibit A. And I'm going to do better this time. And here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here again. And instead of doing Command-Shift-4 and dragging a box, I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to do Command-Shift-4, and then I'm going to hit the space bar. Now, here we go. Here's the Command-Shift-4 part. And I still have the crosshair cursor. It's waiting for me. But I'm going to hit the space bar. When I hit the space bar, nothing really is going to happen except for the cursor turns into a camera. You see the camera icon here. So I could point to this window down here, which is why I left this here as an example. I could point to this one and click, and I'll get that whole window. If I point to this one and I click, I'll get this whole window. So let's do this. I'm going to take this picture now, and you'll see how much better this is. So it took the picture, made a little noise over here, and here it is. Let's look at this one. We'll call this one Exhibit B. Look how nice this one is. So in fact, let me make it as big as I can make it so you can really see. It's just plain perfect is what it is. It's, you notice the corners are rounded. So my screenshot is rounded, whereas this screenshot on the right, it's a rectangle and it's got that blue, the blue border. And even if I had gotten very, very close to the edge here when I took the picture, it still would have had square corners. So if you want the round corners, you do this move. And so let's just see that again. Let me see if I mentioned this. Here it is. Command-Shift-4, then a space bar, and then you click the window you want. So let's just do it again. So you get this down. I'm going to take a picture this time of this window here. It doesn't have to be in the front. In fact, it doesn't have to be even in the front. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to capture that window that's in the back, this one from the disk utility, and I'm going to do it with a Command-Shift-4. So here I go. Command-Shift-4. Got the crosshair. Hit the space bar. Is it this I want? No, it's this I want. Okay, not this, but this. You can see that even though it's in the back, I'm going to get it. And here's my picture. And if I look at this icon, this screenshot, again, absolutely perfect. No background. It's got the shadow. It's awfully darn nice. So if you're trying to make documentation, like I do a lot, where you're trying to teach people how to do things, you want to give them screenshots to show them what they're going to see, this is invaluable. Okay, so that's Command-Shift-4, and then the space bar, and then the click. Now you can do some other really interesting things with that, by the way. Supposing what I want to do is show somebody how to get to the Apple menu, or what's in the Apple menu. So here I've dropped the Apple menu. You can see the Apple menu. Maybe I want them to go to, I want to tell them to go to system settings. So I'm going to point to this system settings like this. I'll do my Command-Shift-4 again, hit the space bar again. It turns out that I can click on that. That counts as a window too. So I could click down here, click up there. So I'll do that. And you see I've completely perfectly captured the menu. Now, what you don't capture is the menu title that would have been up here. That was the Apple. So what you do instead is, one more time, you Command-Shift. I'm going to drop this like this. Command-Shift-4. And actually this, when I hit the space bar, I can actually get the whole menu bar up here if I want. I didn't want all of it. I'll have to trim some of it off, but you can see here, this skinny thing, this is actually the menu bar. And so I'll zoom in on that so we can see it better, but there it is. There's the menu bar. So I captured that again absolutely perfectly. So Command-Shift-4 spacebar is going to turn out to be super useful to you. When you're fast and sloppy and you just want to grab some region of the screen, just Command-Shift-4 and drag the box. But when you want to do it right, you do it with the spacebar. It just looks better. Oh, but there's more. Of course there's more. Of course there's more. So here's a problem. When you do these Command-Shift-3s and Command-Shift-4s, you end up with icons all over the place on your desktop. And I've hidden most of my desktop, but it's in this folder here, and there's hundreds of screenshots in here. Not good. Okay, there's a giant mess. So what do we do about that? Well, a lot of times you don't really want to keep the screenshot. You just want to paste it into a document, paste it into a Pages document, or paste it into an email. So and then you throw it away. So let's do that. Let's is there a way to get it on the clipboard without actually making making an icon on the desktop? Well, let's see about that. So what we do, I'm going to just
Christian?
show you over. Yes.
Could I interrupt just a minute? And could you share your screen, share the program window? It's blurring in and out. And you're running the same thing that I am when I use Ecamm. So I've learned that if you just share your screen instead of.
Okay, so what am I sharing? I'm sharing.
Sharing your program window, the Ecamm program window.
Yeah. Am I doing that by mistake? Okay, let's try this again. First of all, let's just share. Let's do it like this.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at me and a slide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's clear. That looks good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, good. I meant to go there anyway. So here's the thing is, we know about Command Shift 3, picture the entire screen or screens, icons on the desktop. We know about Command Shift 4, either you drag a region or you hit the space bar and then you click a window and again, it's an icon on the desktop. I want to do it this way. We're going to add the control key. Okay, we're going to add the control key. So we already know how to do Command Shift, Command Shift 3 and Command Shift 4, but you're going to add the control key there. So you're going to hold down 3 things to get started, and it's going to go on the clipboard. Now I'm going to do Command Shift 4 right now, and I'm going to take a little picture of what you see on the screen right here. This text. Okay, so here I go. So I do command, and the control. You see I'm holding the control down and the shift, and then my 4, and I'm going to draw my box here like this. A little hard to see, but I drew a box around it. And what happens here is nothing happens as far as you're concerned. There's no more new things on the desktop. So I'm going to show you again my screen. Oh, look at all that screen stuff. That's not what it's supposed to do. I got the wrong screen. I don't know how that happened, but well, to take my word for it, we don't have any extra icons on the desktop. But what I have is I have the ability to paste this thing anywhere I want. So let's see if I can paste it somewhere here. I think I may have made a slight mistake. I'm trying to share the center screen. Let's see what screen you get here. What do you see?
We just see the slide right now.
You still see the slides, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to do something else. How about now? Now you just see my screen, right?
Now we see your desktop, yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to do that Command Shift. I'm going to do a Command Shift with the control and the 4. And I'm going to take a picture again so you can see that I don't get any extra icons here. But now I promise you I've got something on the clipboard. How am I going to prove that to you? I'm going to go to Pages, and I'm going to make a new document here. And in this new document, we're going to paste.
Okay. So we're really fuzzy now. Our
Yeah, I
screen
see
is
that.
really fuzzy.
I see that too, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna try to make it so you don't see that.
Okay.
We've seen this before. Dan's seen it before too, but I forget. Dan, how do I get out of this?
Basically, what I found out is what you need to do is share your screen. And when you choose your screen in Zoom, choose the one that's called Ecamm Window Program.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Now it's fine right now. It goes in and out.
Is that good right now?
No, now we see.
Now we're seeing your
different...
Ecamm. Now we're seeing all your others. So you should.
Okay, so we're gonna do something else. I'll make this work if it takes 10 years. Hang in there, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get back to Zoom. I'm going to share a screen if I can. Okay, I got to find my Zoom window here. It gets a little confusing because there's sort of under Alice in Wonderland. You're going through the looking glass here. Okay, so that's that. Zoom. Just a minute. My Zoom is, there we go. Here's my Zoom window. I think. Okay. Oh, there's my stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm gonna share something else. Okay, so now all you see is probably nothing being shared, right?
You see your desktop and a blurry view.
Okay, we're gonna see. How about a real desktop here? How's that?
See your
That's
see
clear.
your desktop and it's clear.
Okay. All right. Well, so much for that. That was fun while it lasted. Sometimes that seems to be a technical difficulty.
Yeah, we
So
can go over
here's-
that later, Christian. I'm running into the same thing, and I figured out a solution, but we'll figure that out.
So here's our screen we're sharing, and I'm going to I'm going to write some stuff, and then down here, I promised a long time ago I had something on the clipboard, so I'm going to paste this, and there's the thing I pasted. I promised you that I was copying something off the slide, and we did that, and it did not end up back here on the desktop. That was the whole point, is it wasn't going to end up on the desktop. So,
okay.
So when you work in the control key, You add the control key to either of those two maneuvers, Command Shift 3 or Command Shift 4, instead of making a file that lives on the desktop that you might have to throw away, it just puts it on the clipboard as if you copied it. So then you can paste it, and then you don't have to go back and clean up like I do with all of these extra icons. All right, so that's good there. Let's we're actually going to share. I'm going to share something a little different here. I'm going to share my my Keynote, if I can find again the Keynote page here. Okay, come here, Keynote. Let's do. I'm going to share this, and I'm going to take this and put this over here. All right. So you got to adjust, you know. So what else do we have? Okay. Oh, Command Shift 5. Holy cow. All right. So used to be, if you knew Command Shift 3 and you knew Command Shift 4, that was kind of all you needed to know. And somewhere along the way, Command Shift 5 showed up, and boy, does it do a lot of things. So I'm gonna show you. Still continue to share this screen. I'm gonna hide our presentation, and as soon as I just okay. So we're gonna just hide this presentation for now, and I'm gonna show you how we use Command Shift 5. Okay, so in a way, Command Shift 5 is everything you ever wanted, and more or less is pretty close. Let's say I wanted to take I wanted to get a screenshot of a menu that's dropped down like this. We know we can do the Command Shift 4. We know about that, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do the Command Shift 5. So here it comes, Command Shift 5. What happens? Well, you get this little region down here. You see, this is Command Shift 5. So look at our options here. I'm trying to make this easiest for you to see. This first option says capture entire screen. So if I do this, and then I click, I get the entire screen. Okay, we've done this before. Okay. Well, all right, that's no big advantage. Let's do Command Shift 5 again. And this one is capture the selected window. So if all I wanted was one window, that'd be great. So I could, if I had more than one window open, I could click on that. In fact, why don't we get an extra window open here? We'll do system settings like this. So here's a nice window. So let's say I wanted to picture that, Command Shift 5, and I'm going to say capture the selected window, and again I point to it. It's a lot like Command Shift 4, except for I didn't have to do the space bar to get there. Okay, let's do another Command Shift 5, just working our way across. The next one is capture the selected portion, which is what I would have gotten with a Command Shift 4, where you just draw the box. Well, you know, here's the box. So I get to draw the box. I can see the box better. So I see what I'm going to get. And then I can click where it says capture here, and it takes it. All right, but so far we really haven't done anything that we couldn't do another way. So I'm going to skip these two right here for a minute, and I'm going to go over here to the options. Look at these options, a big list of options. Get ready. Okay, first of all, where is it going to go? Where are we going to save it to? Well, you've got the desktop, that's normal. Could go into the documents folder. Could go into a screenshots folder, which you might create, like I did. Could go to the clipboard, so that means that you don't have to hold down the control key like I did. Could go to mail, could go to messages, could go to preview, or could go somewhere else. So these are kind of neat moves. There's a lot going on in this menu. So anyway, we can do those things. That works. You also can set a timer. Sometimes it takes a little while for you to kind of get the screen ready. Maybe you have to click on something and watch a menu come down, or maybe it's something you can't take a picture of because when you do your keyboard shortcuts, whatever's on the screen disappears. So you set up a timer and you tell it, take the picture in 5 seconds or take the picture in 10 seconds. All right, last but not least are these things down here. Show the floating thumbnail. Well, okay, let's do that. Watch what happens here. I'm gonna do a picture here. I'm gonna take a picture of this selected window. So I do this, And down here in the bottom right, it makes a tiny little thumbnail, and I can click on that. And well, I'm gonna do it again. Let's do Command Shift 5. I want to show the thumbnail. I'm going to take this picture, and you'll see when I do this, you'll see that it puts something in the bottom right. And when I click on that, it pops open automatically, and it just gives me sort of a little shortcut to it. And it has some options in here too. So way up here, there's 3 little buttons. One is a trash can, which might be appropriate sometimes. One is a share button, and one is markup. So I can mark it up here. If I hit this button here, it looks like a felt pen, a pointy felt pen in a circle. When you hit that, you get all these tools, which are actually very standard tools. You see these tools in preview. When you click the markup button, you see them actually in Mail if you know where to click. And so I could add things like I could say, well, I want to add a circle here, and I can do things with this circle. So these tools are not specific to the screenshot business. I could make skinnier line. I could give it a fill. I can do these things. So I can draw arrows and whatever. So that's why you might show the thumbnail. I usually don't, because usually the thing's going to be on the desktop. I'll go get it later. So I'm usually taking a bunch of screenshots in a row. Okay, so that's there's one more thing about the Command Shift 5, because I was telling you that Command Shift 5 doesn't do anything that you can't already do. Well, the timer is something you can't do. But here's something else that you can't do. You can't record a movie unless you do the Command Shift 5. Well, it's not strictly true again, but it's pretty true. So let's do Command Shift 5. And this time I'm going to say I want to make a movie. I don't want to record the entire screen. But record the entire screen, it's going to be a very big movie. It's going to be hard for me to share it, to move it around. So I'm going to just take part of the screen. So I'm going to click here, and they're going to ask me to define the part of the screen I want to show. So I'm going to say that here I'm trying to show people what goes on in this formatting area of the Pages app. Let's say I'm trying to demonstrate that. So I've drawn the region, and over here this button that used to say options or capture, it now says record. So let's do it. It actually will record the sound as well. So here we go. So I'm gonna be showing people this is how this works. And I'll say, look, you've got this format button up here. If you click it, all of this stuff disappears. But if you click it again, it comes back. And we got all your fonts here, and you can pick different things and different styles, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so I could be telling people this is how this works. Now, when I'm done, you have to say you're done. So otherwise, it'll record forever. And way up here in the menu bar, at the very top, there'll be a stop button, and I'm going to click that. It stopped it, and we're going to see this movie. Here it is. Here's my movie, still actually being created and saved, but here it is, a screen recording. Okay, this little thing. If I double click this screen recording, it will play it. And here we go. Let's see my movie. And I'll say, look, you've got this format button up. Okay, so there you go. So it's a real movie with sound, with narration, and whatever other sounds would have come out of the Mac. So pretty neat that you can do that. And at times that's the best way to do it, especially trying to demonstrate to somebody, hey, I do this, and it doesn't work. And then you could send it to someone and they could see the movie. They know what you're talking about then. Okay, so, picture's worth 1,000 words and a movie's worth 1,000 pictures and so on and so forth. So that's a lot. All right, so that takes care of doing screenshots on the Mac. I would take a question if you had one right now about the Mac.
We do. Nello, can you please unmute yourself and ask a question?
All right, I think I'm unmuted.
Yes.
My question is, I never noticed all those places that you can put the output of a screenshot. And one of them was labeled screenshots, which I presume is a folder. What is the
Yes.
path to that folder?
Well, I made a folder, right? That's my folder.
Okay, all right. So That's what happens when you say choose other or whatever the
Yes.
item was.
Correct.
Got
That's exactly it. It's what happens when you're down here and you say other location. You can say from now on, I want to put things in this folder called screenshots, which I put in Dropbox so that I can get to them from any machine. You can make your own folder. You just say new folder here, and that's where they're going to go. And it'll remember that. It'll keep doing that for basically until you say somewhere else. And that avoids the clutter that I've created here on my machine today. I don't want to have these things all over the place. I want to have them where I want to have them. You know, I've got
Were
enough-
any of those other options things you created, or were those all
No.
hard coded?
stock, absolutely stock.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, okay, good. Really
All
great
right, thank you,
question.
Neil.
By the way, one thing that you just reminded me of is if I do Command Shift 5 or anything else, and I change my mind, I can just press the escape key, and so I don't take a picture at all. If you got to get out.
Okay. All right, thank
Another?
you. Yes, John Prescott, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? John Prescott's question is, John, are you there? John, he says, Christian, when making a screenshot of a window displaying a graphic file, will the original resolution of the graphic be saved, or will the screenshot default to normal screen resolution of 72 pixels per inch?
Well, it's going to be, I'm not sure what the standard is going to be, but it's not going to be the full resolution of the picture unless the picture happens to be viewed at a 1-to-1 resolution. So you want to make the picture as big as you can when you take the screenshot, because you're not going to be able to stretch it and make it big. So I think that answers that.
Okay, thank you. Bob McKenzie, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. That's a great tip about the Command Shift 5 for a portion of movie recording rather than jump off to TechSmith or some other app.
Yeah.
Where does it default save that movie recording with sound to?
Desktop.
Just to the
again.
desktop?
Yeah, same place as before. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right. So I think we better move because
Go
how
ahead.
much time would I have, Sheet? Another half an hour?
You have another half an hour, yes.
Okay, let's boogie. Let's talk about iPhones. Okay, so we're gonna do screenshots on the iPhone. So now, when you do a screenshot on the iPhone, you get everything. Okay, you get the whole affair. You don't get to define a region or anything like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt to get to show my iPhone screen here. Yeah, I can do that. Let's do it. So anyway, you're going to get the whole screen, and then I'm going to show you a few things here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's talk about how to do it. I've got two kinds of iPhones on the screen here. One is old style iPhone with a home button. And if you press those two buttons, the power button on the side and the home button on the bottom, you get the screenshot. Okay, that's easy. Now over here, I have a newer iPhone without a home button. And here what you do is, again, it's the power button on the side, but over here, it's the up volume on the left. So yeah, that's how you do it. Now this is also, it turns out, a great way to take screenshots by mistake is to hit these buttons by mistake when you're pulling it out of your pocket. So this happens. It happens to everybody. You're going to accidentally touch this button here and this button here, and you're going to take a screenshot. It's just too bad, but that's the way it goes. All right, you're still there, I hope, everybody, right?
We're still here.
I changed something. I was afraid I'm going to lose you. Okay, so where does it go when you take a screenshot with your phone? Well, it can't go to the desktop. So where it goes is it goes to Photos. Okay, it goes to Photos. Although you have a chance to do something with it, but if you take it, you take the screenshot, it's going to show up on your screen for a moment for you to do some editing, but then it's going to go to the Photos app, and it's going to sit there like these. So I'm going to do one now. Let's see here. So let's let's take a screenshot. I'm going to share, instead of sharing my computer screen here, and that's nice, but we're going to share this iPhone. I hope I can do this. Let's see. Doesn't always work, but we're going to try. Okay, let's share a screen. I'm going to say I'm going to do an iPhone via cable. Hope this works. Okay, and nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry, it didn't work. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do something slightly different. Let's technology. It's can't live with it, can't live without it. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, ready and go. This will take me just a minute. So let's do our sharing like we do. Like I do this, screen mirroring. Okay, woof. Okay, I think you see my screen, right?
Yes.
iPhone screen, hooray. Nice to have something work. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna take a picture. And let's say I want to take a picture of this particular home screen. I don't know why, but I'm gonna take the picture. And so I have a button that you can't see on the side of the phone, and on the left side, one on the right side. I'm gonna press those buttons. I'm gonna take a picture, and you're gonna see what happens. There, you see it makes a little icon at the bottom, and I'm gonna touch that. And when it opens up, it shows me some options. All right, so what can we do here? Well, I can crop it. I have right now it's ready to be cropped, and I'm going to grab that handle at the very top up here, and I'm going to just pull that down. I'm going to crop this. I just want to show people the dock. So suppose I wanted to show someone this. Okay, I've cropped it. Great, it worked. Now I could even mark it up, because across the top of this screen we see our old friend the markup tool. So I'm going to touch that. And I get some tools, and I'm going to maybe pick a color. Maybe I'll paint with purple, and I'll grab this highlighter style, and I'll just I can mark on it if I do it right. There we go. So I should be able to mark if I can. Nice if it worked. Stand by. One more thing. We're going to make this work if it takes 10 years. Well, I'm going to save this one. I'm going to say done. I'm going to say done to this. What am I going to do with this? Well, when I say done, I can save this to photos like this. Okay, it's going to be the cropped version. So I'm going to touch where it says save to photos. I'm going to do it. And if we go and look at photos, which conveniently is on this page, you see it down here at the bottom. This is the picture I took, and let's go back here.
Yeah,
it disappeared because it went full screen because today's not National Pancake Day. That's why. So what I've got here, I'll try to show you this again. I'm going to see if I can just stretch it a little bit. There's the picture I took yesterday. You can see it. I mean, here's the one I took today right here, and it's just there. So I'm going to take another screenshot. Let's do another screenshot of some app. I'm going to go into an app. Here's a push-ups app. And let's say I want to take a screenshot of this. All right. So I do my volume button and my power button, because this is an iPhone 14 Pro, and I take the picture, and there it is. Now, if I don't do anything, if I just sit around and don't touch it, eventually that little version disappears. And so if we go to the photos again, we will see it, and there it is. You can see the last picture is right there. That's a picture we took. So you're always going to see that little version, but you don't have to do anything with it. So let's just do one more. I'll find another app. I'll look at the dictionary app for some reason. So I'm gonna do a picture again. I take the picture. This time I will tap the icon. I can do things with this. I'm gonna try to mark this one up a little more successfully than last time, I hope. And you see I can scribble on it if I wanted to. I could crop it if I wanted to. I could throw it away if I wanted to. You see the icon at the top, but I can share it with somebody too. So I'm gonna hit this, and I'm gonna share it with. I'll go to messages here, and I'll send it to Sheeta. Here you come, Sheeta. Here comes a nice picture. Okay. There she is. Okay. and away it goes. So that's easy to do. Now, after you've done that, you may be completely through with it. You could throw it away, but you can also hit done. And if I hit done, they're going to ask me what I want to do. Do I want to save it myself, or do I just want to throw it away? I think I'm going to say delete the screenshot because it's garbage. Now I'm going to do one more shot here. Let's take the top volume button, volume up button, and the power button. We take the picture. There it is. I tap it, and this time I'm going to mark it up a little bit, but I'm going to show you how we undo the marking too. So let's see if I can paint with purple here. So I'm going to scribble here, and I'm going to regret doing that. So if I wish I could go back, at the top, you see we have an arrow curving back to the left. If I tap that, it undoes that. If I want to redo it, I touch the one to the right. So if I do, let's say I do multiple things like this, I can go back, 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 back. Every time I hit the back button, it took me back one more step. Just like undo on a Mac, but anyway, very handy to be able to do. So I'm gonna throw that one away too. Now I want to show you, let's see what else I've got here. Okay, let's see. I want to look at my slides and see what I did. Oh, I must show you this. Okay, let me show you. I'm gonna take a picture of a web page. Okay, so this is in the handout that I think you're gonna get. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but suppose I go to Safari. Suppose I go to read an article. I'm gonna go to Mac Rumors and I'm gonna read an article. Okay, so hopefully I'm still sharing my screen. I can't see it anymore.
Yes.
I am. Okay, good. Well, this is getting more and more fun by the second. Okay. So suppose I go to read an article and I see, okay, there's something about a new Apple Silicon Mac Pro. So I'm reading this article, and it's kind of long, and it's got comments and stuff. Maybe I want to have this whole article. How am I going to do this? Well, if I do a screenshot, we know what's going to happen. I'm going to get it right down to what you see on the screen. I do this, and there it is, right? That's all I get. So how am I going to get the rest of it? I mean, you might think, okay, I'm smart. I'm going to scroll down like this. I'm going to do another one. I'll take this picture. Then I'll scroll some more. I'll take this picture, and then maybe I'll stitch them all together. It's going to be a pain, but you could do it. But we're not going to do that because there's a better way. So I'm going to take this picture again. Same old screenshot maneuver, volume up and the side button, unless it's the home button and the power button. So we do those, and now what we do is we tap it. I get this option here, and now we have something new. We didn't have this before. What we've got that's new is right here, full page. Okay, full page. So we are going to tap that, and all of a sudden, I have the full page, and there's this this slider deal here on the side. This guy right here, little elevator that I can take up and down, and I can see the whole article. Okay. Well, if I can see the whole thing, maybe I can save the whole thing. So I think I will. So I'm gonna just verify I see the whole thing. That's great. And now I'm gonna hit the share button up here, and I'm gonna do something with it. Now, what am I gonna do with it? Well, I could mail it to somebody. So I'll mail it to me. Okay. So I hit this, and I can type in an email address and CHR, and now the whole thing is there. And it turns out it's a PDF. Okay, that's a PDF. So that's that. And so that's a very handy thing to be able to do, is to get the whole article in one move. And it's not a screenshot with crummy resolution. so you can zoom in on this. It's still going to look great no matter what, because it's PDF. Okay, so that was nice. I'm going to say done to this, and I could save this. A good place to save such a thing, if I didn't want to email it to myself, I could have saved it to files, right? But I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to delete it. I'm done with it. But that was fun. Okay, so that's a pretty powerful move. Let me see what's what else I had on our agenda for today. Okay, we did full page. Oh, okay. Where do these things go? Well, all right, let's think about this here. When we looked and we saw that they do go, indeed, they go to the Photos app, and you see them down here, right? You see these last few things. These are screenshots that we took today, down here and up here, and this is that one I cropped. So they're all here. But that's great because they're the last things we took. It's easy for us to find. But what about some screenshots maybe that we took some days ago? Where are they? Well, guess what? You have an album. If I go down here to the bottom and I tap on albums, we're going to see that there are some interesting albums here. So let me look at sorry, it's not an album. What am I talking about? It's a media type. You still tap albums, but down here I go to media types, and what do you know? We see one that says screenshots. Now, someone's been busy here. 9,185 screenshots. Okay, so if we look in there, of course we see the ones we just took today, but we see a whole bunch of other ones too. And if you came to the class that I taught a couple of Saturdays ago, you would remember some of these screenshots. Okay, so anyway, this is a quick way for you to find all the screenshots, because the Photos app on the phone gives you this nice thing here, and screen recordings too. So anyway, very nice stuff. And I believe, let's see if our screenshots, yeah, so there you go. That's good. So now we know about that. Now I've got something else for you. This is a special bonus. So one of the things you may have noticed when I do screenshots is, you do a screenshot, it's going to be a rectangle, like, in fact, I'm going to share something with you, something else so you can see. Let's share my Mac screen here. Okay. So normally, when you take a screenshot like this, you get a rectangular selection, and that's what it is. That's it. But this was an iPhone picture. I want it to look more like this. Way better, right? Agreed? Better. So if you're going to send someone a picture of an iPhone, it's nice if you can make it look like an iPhone. But that doesn't come, automatically. You have to do something here. And so what we used to do is we used to find ourselves a picture of an iPhone, and we would put that maybe into Photoshop or into Pixelmator, and then we would take our screenshot and we would overlay it, and we'd move it around and try to make it fit and make it look perfect. And that's how we did it. It was a bit of work, but it turns out that there's a way. If you go visit the Mac Stories website and you look at the shortcuts, Federico, he's a guy who does a lot of shortcuts, and he's made a shortcut that it's called Apple Frames. And Apple Frames is something you download, it gets onto your phone, you follow the directions, and it gives you the ability to make a screenshot that's got the right picture of iPhone surrounding it. So if your iPhone is a big one, it works. If it's a little one, it works. If it's an old one, it works. So I'm going to, iPads also, Macs also. So let's do one now. I'm going to, let me back up here. I'm going to take a picture and show you how that would be done. So this is kind of, this is the big time. So let's share, I'm going to share my iPhone again, like we did before. And it'd be nice if I actually shared it. Let's just try that again. I'm going to share the iPhone via AirPlay like that. Okay, here it is. I don't know if I'm sharing it. I think I'm sharing.
Yes.
Good. I
Yes.
did it.
Mhm.
It's been a tough day. Okay, so I want to take a picture. I want to take a picture of this screen. What you see right now is, I believe, a rectangular picture of my screen. I'm going to take the screenshot. We know it's going to be a rectangle because it always is. But when we take it, I'm going to tap it. And now we're going to use the share button up here. Okay, we're going to use the share button. And we're going to choose Federico's shortcut, which is free. So I'm going to tap up there. And now what we get is we get, well, you see the options that I have, but I'm going to scroll a little bit. And right away, I have this thing called Apple Frames right here. So this is how you access Federico's shortcut. So I'm going to tap Apple Frames now, and it's going to start doing things. You see at the top, it did some things. And then it asks me what I want to do with it. I'm going to save that to photos. Okay, I'm going to save it to photos so you can see it there. And now I'm going to close this up, and they're going to ask me if I want to save the original. When I hit done here, I'll save that to photos too. So now if we look in the Photos app, we're going to see two, and we're going to see, we would see two if it worked. Let's try that one more time. Okay, I'm going to do this again. Take the screenshot, tap it, share it, Apple Frames, let it run, save to photos. I think that's what I wanted to do. Okay. And now let's see if I'm done.
I think it's because you're looking at your screenshots. Just go to your
Oh,
album.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan. Saved my life. Okay. So indeed, here was the original picture that just disappeared, right? There's the original is there, and you can see down below to the left is the one that's wrapped with a frame. So it's really cool to be able to do this if you're a person who needs to do some documentation and you want people to see a screenshot that looks like an iPhone, like this one. Like, let's just draw a little box. Like, you want it to look like this and not like this, you get Federico's shortcut. Okay. All right. Last but not least, we're going to do one more thing. And this is something I learned from Sheeta last week, is I'm going to share my Apple Watch screen. So we go to settings on the watch, or settings on the iPhone, by the way. We go to accessibility. I look for Apple Watch mirroring. I turn it on. If I'm lucky, it will share. Okay, I'm doing it right now. This is great. Okay, so okay, don't look at my code here. That's you know my birthday. So you got to get off my wrist first. That's the hard part. So here's my watch. Now, to take a picture of an Apple Watch screen, doesn't matter which screen you're on. Let's say I wanted to remind people how to do that. Use the camera remote to take pictures from your phone using your watch. So suppose I want to show something here. Camera remote. There it is. I want to take a picture of this. I press two buttons here. There's two buttons on a watch anyway. You've got a side. You got the digital crown, and you've got the side button. I'm going to press both of those, and it kind of flashes. And maybe I'll take one more of the camera remote actually doing things. So there we go. So now, where did that go? Well, I'm going to quit sharing the watch. I'm going to go here to photos, and if we're lucky, we look in photos. Here's our pictures. This is the picture. Wow, this is the picture of the one on the camera remote is right here. This is actually using the camera remote, and it turns out that we can wrap those guys in Apple Watch clothing. So I'm going to do that now. What you do, let's do it again. So let's say I want to make this one, this one that's the first one I took, right? You see where it is. Where is it? This guy. I want to take this thing and make it look like an Apple Watch and not just like a rectangle. I tap it. You can't see it, but trust me, you're going to hit the share button, When I hit the share button, it's going to ask me what I want to do. I'm going to say Apple Frames. It's going to do its thing behind my back, and hopefully, there it is. Okay, so it did it. The reason you couldn't see me do it is a function of the way Zoom shares an iPhone screen when you go to Photos. But the point is, I made one down here now that looks like it looks like an Apple Watch. See this, all this frame stuff I did? It just, the shortcut wrapped it around and made it look like that. It's perfect. It's nice. Use it every day. So that, I believe, is that. Let me just take one last look at my slides, see if there's anything else. That is it. You've learned everything. The end. Okay, so that is that. Woof, that was fun. Okay, the end. Questions. I'll take.
There's nothing like trial by fire, Christian. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alan, you had a question earlier. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, Christian, back to the material you showed on the Mac.
Yes.
They're off. I mean, that 5 option is really terrific, but often I want to take a screenshot, a quick screenshot, while you're in the middle of a large lecture, and I want to come back later and do all those options. Can I do the 5 option? And then come back and do all those things later, or do I have to do them immediately?
Yeah, it's if you do them kind of on the fly as you're taking the screenshots, if you're talking about where they're going to be saved or whether they're going to be cropped and stuff like that. I mean, you can crop them. You can crop them later. You open them with preview and you can work with them there. But you know what? Well, give me an example of what you would want to do. I guess maybe I don't understand the question.
I understand the question.
Oh, good.
Alan, the screenshots will be created with a timestamp. And because of the timestamp, you can open them in order and sort of like tap your memory to remember what you were doing. And at that point, you then, if you need to crop them or put edits on them, you can at that time.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. Bob Jacobs, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Bob Jacobs' question is, are screenshots on the iPad, yes, similar to the iPhone? Yes.
That's an easy one. Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. Rob Huff, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
First of all, thank you once again. I noticed that when you do the full page, they're PDFs. Are they actually in the Photos app if they're PDFs?
No. When you do one of those, it asks you where to save it, and one of the options is not Photos. It's going to go to Files, or you're going to mail it to somebody, or you're going to text it to somebody.
Right, because PDFs are verboten in Photos.
Correct. Very good. Very, very astute. Got that one.
Okay.
Sure.
Michael Rath, you've asked this question twice, so it's very important to you. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, I've got big fingers and I can't see doing some of that stuff on the iPhone. Did you do all that work using just your finger to work on all that stuff on the iPhone?
Well, today, yeah, everything I did today, I did live with these here fingers. So, yeah, I guess you could use a stylus. That would work. I usually take a screenshot of the phone. I run that action from Federico to wrap it up and make it look like a phone, and then I'll generally take it out of the Photos app and work with it on my Mac to mark it up. You know, for if I need to mark it up, I usually do that. I almost never really use the markup tools on the phone because I mean, it's finger painting, right? It's hard to do. It's hard to be really precise. So I usually don't do it there. I usually bring it to the Mac and do it there.
So it's the PDF that you sent, Chief, is that going to have the address for Federico's?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Trust me, it's up. Yeah, it's on the it's up there.
Very good. I appreciate everything you did today.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Jerry Schultz, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, I have a 3-screen setup just like you do. And however, when I've never used the full screen Command Shift 3 except on my main screen, and it only captures the main screen. It doesn't capture the others. And then while we were sitting here, I tried with a window selected on other than my main screen and did a Command Shift 3 and I got nothing.
Wow.
I'm guessing that this may have something to do with spaces, which I don't completely understand because I don't use them. And I know that once I tried, and I don't even know which way I have it set up, whether my 3 screens are separate spaces or whether they are one space. But I toggled that switch at one point and I got some behavior I didn't like, so I toggled it back, but I can't even tell you which way I am. But anyhow, I'm wondering if that is the reason I get this.
Wow. I don't know for sure. I defer to maybe Dan or Sheeta. If they're in different spaces, if your screens are in different spaces, then maybe you can't screenshot across them. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if they are or not. Like I said, I'd have to go back
I
and
don't know
check.
if it would matter, but I kind of think it might matter. I'm not using spaces over here, so maybe that's why it works.
I'm not using them on purpose.
Yeah, right.
I would think that when you take a screenshot, it takes a screenshot of where you are at the time.
Well, that's what I thought.
And,
But like I said,
and it puts it on that desktop. So you're not getting a screenshot at all.
I am so. When I took, I don't normally take full screen. I normally do Command Shift 5 and select from there. But when I did the Command Shift 3, so I have my MacBook is on the MacBook Pro is on the right, and I have 2 other 27-inch screens. So the middle screen is my main screen, and that's where I normally do stuff. And so when I did the Command Shift 3, it actually saved it on the desktop of my left screen, not my middle screen. And when I then had a window selected on my left screen, which is not my main screen, I did the Command Shift 3 and I got nothing. And I made sure I checked all my desktops on all 3 screens.
Wow.
Well, when you save that, when that screenshot is saved, it's going to save to whatever screen is your, I want to say, controller. So even though you took a screenshot of the middle screen, it's not going to save it to the middle screen.
Well, the middle screen is my controller. The middle screen is
Okay.
like I said, my main screen. It's not my laptop screen. And the screenshot got saved on the thing on the screen, which is neither my main screen nor my laptop. So it didn't do what we said.
Well, why don't you try it this way? Why don't you use the options menu in when you do Command Shift 5?
Well, that's what I do. Like I said, Command Shift 5 is what I use all the time.
Okay.
So I've never noticed this issue before.
Well, and then tell it where you want it to go. Use that options thing to say, I'm going to put it on the desktop, or I want to put it wherever you want to put it. And then you'll know where to look. And then that should narrow down the problem.
Well, normally I do that, and the only reason I even am interested in Command Shift 3 is because there have been occasionally times in Zoom calls, chats, whatever, where I want to I got to capture it now, and I don't have time to mess with Command Shift 5. I want to make sure I get the whole screen.
Okay. Well, that sounds like an interesting problem to solve. I don't know that it's something I'm going to solve right this second, though. Maybe we should take another question if we've got one. I actually have one more thing to say beyond that. So let's just move on.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jerry. We'll ferret it out. Christian, you go ahead because we
Okay.
only have
Well,
like
the
a
last
few
thing I want
minutes.
to tell you is that there are lots of little applications that you can buy to help you take screenshots, and you don't need any of them, and but some of them are pretty good. And you know, there's one called Snaps, and there's Snaps Pro, and there's Sketch, and I personally don't use them because I think these tools are fine, but what I would do is get good at these things and until you run into some sort of limitation, and then look into possibly some utility that helps you do this. You probably don't need one, but I just want to let you know that there are such things out there that are like Command Shift 3 with, you know, with a twist, with extra features.
That's a good point. I do have Capto, which I have used in the past, and I may go back to using that for the full screen.
Okay, good. Okay, maybe that'll do it.
All right, we have time for one last question. Anyone want to raise your hand? And we'll call on you. Melissa, your mic is open. You have a question?
I was just following up. I was practicing the missing screenshot on my Mac, and I realized I had in Command Shift 5 selected clipboard. So my files weren't being saved to my desktop. So when I changed it to desktop, then did a screen capture with Command Shift 4, it went to my desktop.
Very good.
So that might be one quirk.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the settings you make there in the Command Shift 5 are going to carry over to when you do Command Shift 3 and Command Shift 4. Very good. Good point.
And that would also work if you set a crop area for that kind of presentation, and then you don't have to go back and crop later.
Yeah, there's the option to remember the region that you've selected. So if you tell it to do that, then yeah, it's going to remember which part of the screen you want to capture. When you come back to capture more, it'll still start out with that piece selected.
Okay, thank you, Melissa, for that. Appreciate it. Chris Wilder, did you get your questions answered? Are you still here? Yes, you're still here. Okay.
Sorry, I am still here.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't find the right button. Yeah, I screenshot a lot of text, but you can't do anything with a screenshot. It's just an odd format. Can I lift that text out to paste into a text document?
Yes, you can. Nowadays, you can. If you've got a new enough system, you will see a little icon that's, well, if you're on Ventura,
yeah,
you can. There's a little icon that looks like kind of like a page and sort of a brackets like this, and that you can use that button, select the text, and it will be real text. It'll be read like and figured out that it's text and not just a picture of text.
Okay, thank you.
It's in there. It's called text. Sheeta, what's it called? What's that feature called? And it's something about text. It's new.
Yeah, you'll have that little icon that pops up whenever you're looking at text, and it aims at text. So you'll be able to see whether or not you'll be able to copy it and paste it. And once you copy and paste it, you don't. I think you wrote about whether or not the program can read it or pronounce it. You don't as long as it recognizes it, you can copy and paste it, and it does a fantastic job.
Okay. Can I show this? You got a second?
Sure.
To show it? Okay.
Go right ahead.
I've taken a screenshot of a message that was up on my screen that says here time sensitive. This is a message that just popped up. So I'm going to hit this button at the bottom right, and when we hit this button, you see it's figured out that these are words. I can say copy all. Then I can come over here to pages. I'm done with that screenshot, and I could come down here and I could just paste. And there's those words, okay? And they're really words, right? I can delete them a little bit at a time. So yeah, that's the magic button for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
You're quite welcome. All right, we do have time for one more question. Anyone? All right. Well, if no one wants to step up to the mic, then I want to say, Christian, as always, wonderful presentation. And we want to thank you very much for your energy and for your time. And like I said, I love that you just step into the fire and anything can happen and you just want to figure it out. So today has definitely been a trial by fire. So thank you so much for that.
You're
And
welcome.
everyone,
Are we going to send out that handout that I sent you?
I did. I sent it out. I put it in the chat. If anyone needs it, I can drop it in there again.
Beautiful.
But,
Thank you.
All right. You're quite welcome. Everyone, can you please unmute yourself and thank
And
Christian?
before you,
Really useful.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
Very
Good job.
useful.
Thank you, Christian. See you. Take care.
I learned a few things today. Very interesting.
Good.
Presentation, Christian.
this is Jerry Schultz. Can I make a comment?
Sure, Jerry.
It was Mary, I think, made the comment about where you select things in Command Shift 5 is where things go. It turns out that that in fact was my problem. I mistakenly thought I had a screenshot captured over there, but don't ask me why. But I thought I had the screenshot over there on the other screen, but it wasn't something.
Mary Ross.
Okay, now
Next
let
week, Mary,
me
Mary.
say that was Melissa Green.
Okay.
And I already owe Melissa Green lunch. So for anybody else who now owes Melissa Green lunch, Melissa, hey, you don't have to worry. We're good for it. So we hope to see you soon. All right. Okay, everyone, thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, Dan, I'm gonna we will see you on Saturday. And Dan, I'll hand the rest to you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And yes, next week we are going to be talking about personalizing our iPhone with Mike Matthews. So look for that. And as Sheeta said, this Saturday, we're going to be looking at the Photos app. So if you liked this with what Christian was doing with the Photos app, see what else you can do with the Photos app. It's really quite powerful what you can do. And one of my favorite new features is iCloud Shared Library. You can share your library with other people. Really, really nice feature. And you're going to be learning about that and so much more. So you don't want to miss that this Saturday. Again, thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week, if not Saturday.
All right. Bye, everyone. Be well.
Bye.
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 Thank you.